Good afternoon, everyone. This is Riziko coming to you with another video. This time, the deck profile will be about Assault Mode Activate. And so, starting off with the deck, I run 3 Stardust Assault Mode. The reason why you would run 3 is because this card is actually the main card to run the deck. He's a 3k attacker, 25k defense, and then his effect is that you can tribute himself off in order to negate the effects of either a monster, spell, or trap, and then if you do, destroy it. Also, if this card would be destroyed, nah, yeah, if this card will be destroyed from the field, you can special summon off one Stardust Dragon in your graveyard back to the field. Next up, one Psychic, one Hyper Psychic Blaster Assault Mode, because what he is a 35k attacker and 3k defenser. Another thing is that if he punches a monster, you would be able to gain the defense as health, and then your opponent will burn for the attack. Next up, you can't have Stardust without having his rival, aka Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode. So what Assault Mode is a 35k attacker and 25k defense. He's only 500 higher than Stardust, but his effect is that when he attacks or is attacked, he blows up everything on the field. So he's good to run at least one. Having more than one of him won't really work out in the end game. Also, when he leaves the field, you're allowed to special summon one Red Dragon Archfiend from the graveyard back to the field. Next up, last but not least, my one of TG Halberd Cannon Assault Mode. Halberd Cannon is like a Solemn Judgment, but he banishes instead. He is a quickie, so whenever your opponent would summon or special summon, you can negate the summon and then banish all the monsters on the field, including that summon. If the card would be destroyed, you can special summon one TG Halberd Cannon from your graveyard, but I don't really run that. Next up, 3 Side Reflectors. So Side Reflector is the card that came out during Dark Neostorm. It's the new support in order to help the deck work out. I know I'm late in the matter of showing this video, but at the moment, it's a good time to start talking about it. So what Side Reflector does is that when he's normal or special, you're able to add a card that has Assault Mode activate in text, and also you're able to special summon one card that has specifically one Assault Mode activate in this card text and special summon it to the field by revealing one Assault Mode activate trap card from your hand. And then if you do, that monster does gain up to 4 levels. Not It's not that it has to be only 4. It's from 1 to 4. People misunderstand that sometimes. Next up, another card that came out from the Dark Neostorm set was Assault Sentinel. So what Assault Sentinel does is that he allows you to enably summon Side Reflector from your deck. So pretty much, you tribute Assault Sentinel, you special summon one card that has Assault Mode activate in text, and if you do, special summon it out. And then this card, the rest of the card is that it gains the attribute and the typing of the required monster that he will be used to synchro summon. And if you do use the effect, all you can do is synchro summon. You can't really summon anything else out of the deck. So pretty much you should either link summon or XYZ summon before you play his effect if you have a board. Next up, Assault Mercenary. So Assault Mercenary, I would run 3, but I find it that it's not really good to run him at 3. It's best to just run him at 2 because you don't really want him showing up all the time. but you do at the same time. So what Assault Mercenary does is that if you have an Assault Mode Activate track card in your graveyard, you're able to bounce that back to your deck, and then you can pop one spell or track card your opponent controls. Right? That's so pretty much he's a physical MST, and he recycles back your Assault Mode Activate, so you can keep on activating your Assault Mode Activate cards. Next up, this is like the terraforming for Assault Mode Activate the track card, and he also enables the other plays just in case you don't have Assault Mercenary or Assault Mode Sniper on the field. So what you would do is that you would discard him in order to add Assault Mode Activate the track card from deck to your hand. If he gets negated, it really doesn't matter if they ash him because you will still have him in the graveyard, and that would enable you to synchro summon from the graveyard using Psy Reflector. That will be the end of the Assault Mode support cards. Next, I'll be showing you Goblin Heart, right? So he's there to special summon out the monsters that you would need if you would like to do link plays or mainly synchro plays in order to get out your assault mode cards. He when he's special summoned, he just goes to defense. I don't find it that Marauding Captain is actually useful because Marauding Captain isn't at a level 4, and he's still one of the best cards used for this deck, even though he's not really played much. Then I run the one Kinka right? Because when Kinka is summoned or flip face up, you're allowed to special summon one level 1 from your graveyard. But when that level 1 leaves, it is banished. But what you would really use Kinka for to summon out Psy Reflector in order to get Psy Reflector's effect to search, and then you would use Psy Reflector's effect to special summon, so you can just continue your synchro plays or your link plays. Uh, since this card was normal summon or flip face up, at the end of the turn, he does return to your hand. So even if he's in the graveyard, he still comes back. If you use him for a Link Rebo, he's still there. Last but not least, Necrophase, because you will be banishing cards at points in the game where you will have to recycle back your deck in order to keep the deck flowing. I only run one because I find it that I needed the space in order to compete with other decks that was say stop running the assault mode. I don't find it fun, but it's mandatory. Next up, Brave Dark Ruler No More. These comes in the Megaton, and these do help out the deck a lot because you don't want your opponent to say stop playing your Psy Reflector or your Sniper because they are needed and they do search. So Ash Blossom is kind of a problem, and so is the other cards. But with Dark Ruler No More, you can pretty much stop the monster effects of the game, and then you can just try OTKing your opponent since you have Stardust on the field or the others, which is pretty much 3K overboard. Uh, one emergency teleport, because emergency teleport is to allow you to special summon out one Psy Reflector if you don't get him in your hand and you really need to play out the synchro summoning, because Psy Reflector is the main card to use in this deck if you're going synchro summon, and then links not link summon but assault mode activate them in order to summon out your bigger versions of the Stardust or the others. One Rhoda, because the majority of the monsters in the deck are warriors. Snipe, you have mercenary, and then you have goblin. So you search them out, then you can just play the effects to get out the others. Next up, 3 assault mode zeros. So pretty much, if your hand gets stuck and you don't have assault mode activate, and then the assault mode is in your hand, you use assault mode 0 in order to special summon that assault mode card from your hand instead of it having to be in deck to special summon. Also, you can banish this card from the graveyard to add one assault mode activate from your deck to your hand. Next up, you would run two assault mode teleport just in case you do have more than one assault mode monsters in your hand in order to draw two. Sorry, I have a proxy right now. I am currently missing my other assault mode teleport. Um, but yeah, this card is just pretty much saying shuffle back your assault mode activate monster and then just draw two. This is not once per turn effect, so you can do it multiple times if you wanted to. Next up, two MSTs because you can run twin twisters. There's nothing about it, but I run two MSTs in order to pop the back row, just in case something bothers me or anything, and you can't really use Stardust if somebody Fiendish chains or not breakthrough, but if they try stopping it for the back row, you can just say MST to stop it. Next up, one breakthrough skill. There are cards in the game now where your monster will be getting stolen, and then you can just break through. I recommend that you at least run two, but in order to get my deck at 40 cards or 41, I run only one of it at the moment. So breakthrough is a great card to use just in case you don't want to use their Stardust effect to negate and destroy, because you would want your Stardust on the field just in case of another emergency happens and you just want to run over it. Next up, two Assault Mode reboots. This also came in the Dark Neostorm set. So pretty much what you would use it for, it's like a jar of avarice for the Assault modes, but instead of sending up to 5 cards, you had to send 5 cards with Assault Mode in its text. And also, what you could do is you contribute one of your assault mode monsters to special out another assault mode, which doesn't really need to be requiring the assault mode activate nor the exact synchro monster in order to summon out the assault mode from your deck. So this is a very good card. This is like highly used in the deck. Next up, you will run two Venus Chain because you would want to negate your opponent's effect, and this is just a really annoying card to be running. Not much people would be expecting a Fiendish Chain nowadays because the back row really isn't run by traps, it's mainly run by spells. So you would Fiendish Chain the monster, so it's good against Sky Strikers and everything because they can't really do much if they can't really move at the end of that point. Last but not least, is you would have Assault Mode activate. So this is just your generic card, the main card that you use for the deck in order to special summon out your Assault Mode monsters from the deck. The cost is tribute though, so that's one. And then lastly for the deck, two Fateful Hours. So Fateful Hours allows you to special summon monsters that can't be normal or special summon. So pretty much it allows you to special summon your Synchro monster, your Link monsters, and including your Assault Mode monsters if they were summoned properly. There's nothing else to behold. This is just a track card, Monster Reborn version. I really do like them, just in case my opponent does get rid of my Assault Modes, mainly my Stardust. It can just bring this other Stardust out, and then I'll have my Synchro version of Stardust out on the field too if they were destroyed by Battle or Card Effect. Up next is the extra deck. So I would run one the pretty much generic cards for Link Summoning. One Borolo Dragon, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Griffin, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn. So, and then I would, if I had that card, I would run Linkuriboh because most of the cards that you do use that will show up most of the times are 1-star monsters. So Linkuriboh can just go off based off of them, and then you have a Link Zone punching down. And then later on, if your opponent would try slapping your monster with a higher one, you can just stop it. So that's the end of the links. Next, I'll be going to the synchros. So I only have one of each of these cards at the moment, but what you would do, you would run double just in case. So I'll run two. I recommend running 2 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiends because Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend is considered Red Dragon Archfiend on the field and in the graveyard. So pretty much, you would use him to summon the Assault Mode Red Dragon Archfiend, and then if that Assault Mode would go away, you get him out, and then you still have the effects that he will destroy all special summon monsters, and the opponent would burn for 500. One Red Dragon, up to 2 Red Dragon Archfiend, but I only run 1. Uh, this is just for the summon of the Assault Mode Red Dragon Archfiend. It's still good, but I don't see much people using it. I don't really use it either. I just go for a Scarlet just in case. Next up, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. So, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is just another Red Dragon Archfiend that has the effect that I could use, and then later on just go straight into into an OTK board just in case. So because you can still synchro summon without having to use the assault modes. 1 Stardust Dragon. Uh, I don't have another copy like I said, but you will at least run 3, not 2 of Stardust Dragon because you have 3 assault mode, activate Stardust Dragons, and then you can just pretty much summon him and then go straight into your assault mode, or you can have him out on the field. It really doesn't matter. It does matter for the assault mode activate, but for him, it really doesn't matter. And last but not least, 2 to 3 Stardust Spark because he does protect your monsters from getting destructed. Um, yeah, there's nothing else to it. Now we'll move on to the side deck. So on the side deck, I run 3 Mystic Mine. The reason why is because majority of the time your opponent will have a full board more than yours, and then if you just summon straight into a Stardust, and then you can just go straight into Assault Mode activate Stardust, and then it's technically just having 1 card still on the board, so you can just pretty much hit into your monster, the opponent monster, or you can just go into side Psychic Blaster. No, Blaster Psychic. Sorry. It's very early in the morning. It's like 4:51 a.m. But so the combo would be like you use Mystic Mine. You're able to set up your board right after your opponent set up, and they pretty much couldn't do anything afterwards. You would run Field Barrier too. Uh, right now, I couldn't find my copies, but the combo is that you would run Mystic Mine and then you would play this dude, Psychic Blaster, Blaster Psychic. Sorry, and then you pretty much would slap your opponent monster one at a time, doing damage plus burn damage, and you would be gaining HP. And if you do tie up, I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, this card will disappear because your opponent would pretty much link out their cards in order to have the same number as you. They don't like Mystic Mine, so Mystic Mine is an annoying combo with this card. Next up, 2 Effect Veilers. You would want to negate your opponent's monsters during their turn. You wouldn't really want to waste your Stardust Dragon effect. So just running 2 Effect Veilers is One way to not waste your Stardust effects. 3, share ride, just in case your opponent would want to run Pot of Extravagance or any form of draw power in general. So you wouldn't want them to only gain the benefit, you would want to get the benefit too. And then last but not least, Doom Kaiser Dragon Assault Mode. So I find it that in my locals and some of the other card shops, they do run zombie cards, and you can just use this card to just steal all their zombie cards and then link out just to I would say to torture them. This card is really evil for no reason. I'm surprised that it still works nowadays. Uh, thank you for watching. I hope you guys come back again to watch his videos. Have a good night.